Hello. Hi, lovelies. Let's just see if we are indeed live. Pop a message into the chat room if you can hear me. I think we're good. But let me just connect in with you. Who's here? Where are you tuning in from? Pop a message in and let me know that you can hear me okay. And then we will get started. So I am tuning in today, joining you from Dubai, from the coming in hot from the hot desert in Dubai. Wherever you are in the world, hey to you, it's Saturday night here. I can't think of something better to do on Saturday night than connect with you lovelies in my community and have a juicy conversation about things that matter. So while I wait for someone in this beautiful group to tell me that you can hear and see me okay, to make sure that we're all connected, I will just tell you a little bit about what we're going to cover today. We're going to dive straight in case you didn't know, this is a live stream as part of the coaching that I'm doing for the current free workshop for you all, which is called Be the Powerful Creator of Your Life. And the workshop is on for a couple of weeks. So there's a link with this live stream. You can go and get the workshop free if you haven't already. You can do that after we're finished today. So that is at bernadettelogue.com/workshop. Okay, so that's on until Wednesday the 27th. And if there is anything that's resonating with you in this session today and you want more help, also my Activate Your Power program is open for enrollment until Wednesday the 27th as well. That's on the website, bernadettelogue.com/program. Okay, free workshop /workshop, program with me for 14 weeks /program. So with that housekeeping said, thank you, Sam. Yay for Sam being here. Thank you, Sam, for saying you can see and hear me. So now I can dive in to do some coaching now that I know that I'm not talking to myself and we are technologically happening. Okay, so I promised you we were going to talk about one shift that changes everything. I'm not into hype, rah-rah stuff. So when I say that, I mean this because it is born of my own journey. This made a massive, massive difference for me. And it is the one thing I see make the biggest difference when I'm doing one-on-one coaching for people. And if you're new here or you somehow randomly landed on this live stream, I've been doing this for 13 years professionally in this transformation life coaching work that I do, okay? And I've been on the journey myself for about 27 years. So the thing we're going to talk about in the context of what you want, okay, because nobody wants personal growth in courses and workshops. People want resolution of their stuff and they want the things they want in their life before they leave this blessed planet. So let's just tune into you and what it is that you're actually here for, because I know that we're friends online and it's cool to hang out, but I also know that if you're going to give me precious time, it's because you want something, right? There's something important to you. So I'm going to guesstimate there's a problem that you have that you do not want, or there is something that you want that you do not have. So just tune into what that is, okay? And then put our conversation today in the context of that. So everything that I do for you is to help you create a shift through personal transformation that affects, like a domino effect, like a pebble in a pool. It will ripple out into all areas of your life, okay, so that you can live the life you're here for. From a side note, without going down a rabbit hole, from a spiritual perspective, this is my dharma, this is my thing that I'm here on the planet to do for you, is to help people awaken inside the dream of life, see what they need to see so you can live the life you are here for, that your soul has signed up for. And I am very practical about how we do that with all the inner workings of you as a human being. So the biggest reason that I see that people, it's not the only reason, okay, the biggest and most common reason I see that people remain with problems that they do not want, or they don't have the realization of the goal, dream, or aspiration that they do want, is because there's some part of them inside that is keeping it that way. And we're going to talk about why that is. And it is not you consciously doing that to yourself. It is a deeper part of you that is in your wiring that sits behind the scenes and kind of pulls the levers on you. We know we've got unconscious, we've got subconscious, we've got our nervous system, we've got all sorts of things going on. And that part of us that wants to stay in the problem is not for, doesn't want to do that for suffering. And that does not want your goal, dream, or aspiration, is not trying to harm you, and it's not sabotage. We're going to go through the reasons that parts of us keep us stuck, okay, and make more sense as we go forward. I've got two screens, so when you see me look off to the side, it's because I'm looking at the other screen. So usually these parts of us inside are blind spots, meaning you're a really smart person, right? You're a smart person. If you could see it, you'd see it and you'd know what it is, but you can't because it's a blind spot, right? And in the free workshop, which you might have already done with me, you'll know that we also talk about subconscious conflicts. We talk about self-protection loops, which are these beautiful parts of our humanity that are running on autopilot to keep us alive and keep us safe. Unfortunately, those parts often didn't get the memo that we are okay and that we don't really want our problem and we really want our goal and it's safe for us to have it. But these other parts don't listen to something you read in a book. They don't listen to like a passing thing that you say. They're listening to something much deeper, okay? So what does not work in the journey and why people get super frustrated is it does not work just to keep hammering your problem from every different angle and trying to force a solution and try to just, I'll just get another book or I'll go to, like I remember I was trying to heal a health condition, right? This was at the beginning of my awakening and I'd had this health condition for like 12 years and I'm telling you, I saw so many practitioners. I did everything to my body from the outside I could possibly do. I even got people to do inner work with me and I still couldn't get it resolved. And I look at that now and it's just a great example of why if you don't actually know what is where it's rooted in and you can't see it, then you can try as many fixes from the outside as you want and the thing just doesn't resolve or it kind of keeps boomeranging back. The other thing that doesn't work, that's talking about problems, but goals and dreams, also been here and done this, is it doesn't work to just try harder. Like, it's not like, well, you really want to get a loving relationship, so you should just try harder. Or you really want to have more financial freedom and just like, actually just financial security for a lot of people, like just going to just have some relief and some certainty. And it doesn't work to just keep trying harder, try harder budget, try harder to get the promotion. Let me just, like there's something that I need to do more of. And yes, we do have to take action. And yes, that is a very important part of it. But that is very rarely what is keeping you away from what it is that you really want, okay? And so I'm going to talk about this one shift, and then I'm actually we're not going to workshop today because like there's a whole workshop you can go and do, and I just want to honor people's time, but I am going to give you some really powerful questions like partway through this. And what you can do is the live stream is going to go on replay, and so afterwards you'll be able to go through with your journal, and like every time I ask a question you can pause the video and answer the question and then play again, okay? So that I'll be able to kind of give you a chunk of questions you can use to help you apply what we're doing today, okay? So the one shift that can change everything is this. And bear with me because I'm so passionate about this. It's not going to be like rocket science to you, but I'm telling you, like I would have said like 10, 15 years ago, oh, yeah, I know that. And do you think I actually listened? Okay. So like, I really want this to land for you. So you're not going to push. You're not going to try harder. You're not going to be figuring out or analyzing your problems. This is what you're going to do. If you have a problem that will not resolve, or you have a goal, dream, or aspiration, and you just haven't been able to get there, you're going to pause. You're going to stop trying to deal with all the symptoms and the issues, and you're going to come into a different state. You're going to soften, which means you're going to just chill the bleep out a little bit. You're going to sit back, And you are going to do a gentle, compassionate process where you understand that there might well be a part of you that is keeping this situation in place, and it's not doing it to harm you, it's doing it for a few reasons we're going to go through. And if you don't listen and ask who that part of you is and listen to what that part of you has to say, and I'm going to show you how to do it. If you don't do that, let's have this conversation in another year or 2 years from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, because it will not stop, because it's doing its job. And if we don't stop and pause, soften, ask and listen, then we will never see the thing. We will never uncover the blind spot, okay? Once you understand what's going on, you can resolve it. We talk all about how to do that in the free workshop. But this one shift that can change everything is when you stop judging yourself, forcing, analyzing yourself, and you come into this compassion to say, I am this incredible creature of creation, and there are these dynamic parts inside of me that I can't see, and someone in there is doing a job because they love me and they're trying to help me, and it's causing chaos because I want to do the things I want to get in my life, and I've got problems I need to resolve. If you don't come into relationship with this part, because I'll tell you, when I started doing this, I was like, oh, I have got parts in there, and the multiple she's is doing all sorts of things. And when I started to resolve it, my power started to go up, my confidence started to go, everything started to move in a different way, okay? So the overarching thing is this: identify the part of you inside that wants your problem. I know that's really painful to hear. It's not you that wants it, okay? So bear with me. Identify the part of you that wants your problem, or if it's not a problem, identify the part of you that does not want your goal. And your job is, because it's prickly and you go, oh, I would hate that part of myself, I'd be so angry. No. With compassion and absolute love, like you would be if you were talking to a sweet little child, your job is to ask, listen, understand with love, and then work with that part to rewire it. Okay? So when you understand that you as a human being, I call it your whole system. You have a whole system, okay? And that whole system is not just your conscious thinking mind. Oh, hi, my name is, Christine, and I am living in this place, and here's my goal, and I'm going to go do it. That's not the wholeness of who you are. The wholeness of who you are is that at the front. Then in behind, you've got your psychological, subconscious, you've got your emotional system, you've got your energetic and nervous system, you've got your behavioral system, and then you've got your, what I call your multidimensional or your spiritual system, your intuition, your higher self. If you just consciously say, I'm going to get rid of this problem, or consciously say, I'm going to achieve this goal or dream, and you go forward, where are the other 5 layers of you? Are they coming with you? Did they agree that they're on board with that? And what's happening is usually we think that we are just the conscious thinking mind and we don't understand our layers. So you drive forward, and then you don't understand why all of these sabotaging things happen, or why, you just get so close to what you want and you get it and it just slips through your fingers. People often say, I'll have money come in and it goes out as quickly as it came in, or I'll have all the intention for some goal I've got for my fitness, and doesn't matter what I do, 2 weeks later, I've completely eroded that plan and I'm just not even consciously aware. I'm just out of it and I've moved on. Yes, there are parts of you that are doing that. Yeah, so you're not failing and you're not smart. You're smart, you're capable. It's just that these parts, if you don't understand and you don't bring them with you, then not all of you is on board. And that means you've got a handbrake, or you've got some part of you running in the other direction, right? And so what our job is to bring all the parts of us together and move our whole self forward, okay? So let's go through, what should we go through next? Well, I'll give you some examples of things about what these parts are doing for us. Okay, so first of all, in our psychological layer, we have our identity. That's who you see yourself as. Now, if you have a goal and it doesn't match your identity, it's a misalignment. And your system isn't about having goals that don't match who you are, because it doesn't match who you are. Right? So we want to have alignment that's a misalignment, and your subconscious is not about it. So you might consciously be about it, but it's not about it. We also have our beliefs, which most people understand. You have beliefs, conscious ones, but also a lot of people have subconscious beliefs that they don't understand are going on. They have no idea. And so, in coaching, sometimes we'll be digging and people will say something out of their mouth, and then I've had it happen so many times. People will go, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. I have never actually thought that, but their whole body just blurted it out. And it'll be a subconscious belief program. They don't even necessarily know where they got it from, but it is running them behind the scenes. So they're forging forward, resolving their problem or dealing with a goal, wanting to achieve it, and the rest of their system, not about it. Okay, so that's our psychological. Then we have got our emotional system. Well, your emotional system, we are very feeling creatures, and we can pocket away all sorts of feelings, fears, anxieties, tensions, traumas, all sorts of things are going on in there. And if we have a system that is, for example, in fear and anxiety, or we've got pocketed away guilt or shame, and then we want to go do something out in the world where we're going to be visible, where we're going to potentially be facing things outside our comfort zone, we consciously are choosing that. But our emotional system is like, heck no, I don't want my shame triggered. I don't want my guilt. I don't want this part of me seen. I don't want to feel my fear. And so the system does you a favor. And the favor it does for you is you just don't achieve what you want to achieve to keep you safe. You run out of time. You don't come into contact with the right information. Your subconscious is so clever. Do you know what it can do? It can literally make it such that if there was information that would put you in harm's way, your subconscious will delete the information from your reality before you can see it. It could float right on by you, some answer to a goal that you have that you want to achieve, and it would take you there. Your subconscious is so clever to know, if we got our goal, that would be bad because I would get exposed to this risk. I don't want to deal with that. Delete that information. And that is actually what is going on for a lot of people. So when you understand this about yourself, you have so much power, because now you can be this loving leader of yourself by understanding your human nature, how you function, your mode of operating, and you can love all these parts and bring them with you so that everybody inside is on board. We also, aside from our psychology, our emotions, we have our energetics, our nervous system. Now, this is huge. If your nervous system is like heavily dysregulated, or even a little stretchy and dysregulated, what happens is you go towards something that you want, it starts to get like really stretchy and really uncomfortable, even though you consciously want it. And again, this is where people will go towards something, but they will halt themselves just before it gets too uncomfortable. That is actually not conscious. For some of us, it'll be like, oh yeah, I do feel nervous about this, but it's mainly happening at deeper layers. And so once we can start to regulate ourselves and align ourselves, we're at the point when you're actually at the precipice, that's where you'll start to get a little bit more breathing room to take another step, and a little bit more breathing room, take another step. And the whole time you're expanding your system to be able to handle more of what you want. Because a really big thing for a lot of people is, I want more loving relationship. Oh, but ouch, I don't really want people too close because I've been hurt before. Or I really want more success, but ouch, I don't really want to be seen because what if someone judges me? The people that, the world's full of judgy people, I don't want to deal with that. Another one is, a really big one is, I really want a lot more money. It's really common money issues. Ouch, I don't know if I'm worth it. Ouch, I'm terrible with money. Ouch, will people still like me if I have a lot of money, because people in my family think people with money are XYZ, blah, blah, blah stories. And so we get near what we want, and all of a sudden things start getting really prickly. If you don't address that, you'll never go there. Okay? Super important. And so these layers inside of us, here's why and how they do this thing where they kind of keep us stuck. The first one is where it's our system is deliberately doing us a favor. Now that is where it's trying to keep you safe and keep you alive. And when you're doing something in your life where you're going into uncertain territory, if you have any belief programming that says something is going to potentially be difficult for you, or it's going to expose you to something you don't want to deal with, or you don't feel capable or ready to handle something, your system is designed to keep you away from that because it gets a fear signal. And you're a primitive creature, and so it will try to keep you away from it. It's trying to love you and take care of you. So you never want to be upset at your beautiful system for doing this. You just want to be patient and tolerant and say, okay, I totally am grateful. My sweet mind and my sweet nervous system and my sweet emotional system, thank you for taking care of me. But actually, you've been misinformed. It's actually safe for me to have what I want. It's actually not safe for me to stay in this problem. We've got it back to front because our system will keep us with what's familiar, even if it's painful. Re-listen to that. Your system will keep you where you are, even if it's painful, if it's familiar. Why? Because familiar is, I know what happens here. When I know what happens here and I'm still alive, that makes it safe. Out there, without this problem, with new horizons, with who knows what's going on in my life, and I get my goals and dreams, I've never been there before, equals uncertain, equals unfamiliar, and to our system, that is often deemed unsafe. Okay, so this is why we can get stuck with problems we don't want and away from what we do want, and our system is not harming us, it's trying to help us. The other thing that our system can do, particularly with regards to your psychology, is this. It does what it thinks you want it to do. If you one time in the past, in a painful moment, said people are not trustworthy and relationships are painful, your subconscious got that memo, and it will do its job to have you not experience that again. So when you're consciously saying you want something, your system is not trying to harm you. It's doing what it thinks you want it to do because it got told that. Or, for example, if you saw your parents struggle with a particular thing growing up, or you experienced anything growing up, and now you're trying to do something in your life in that area, if you've got programming around it, your programming is going to support you to what it thinks you want it to do, or what it thinks is right and good and safe, depending on how your mindset has been conditioned and the things that you've been through, okay? So the more we understand this, the better. Now, I'm going to give you some prompt questions, okay? Like I promised, and then you can listen back to this. I've got them on my phone here, and then you can listen back to this and you can pause it anytime you want and do your journaling, okay? So I'm not going to take a lot of time because we're not on live stream. I'm going to sit and workshop this. Okay, so the first one is the obvious one. What about me does not want my goal? What part of me does not want my goal? Okay. What part of me is not on board with my goal? What part of me is not a match for my goal? Now, when you do this, it's very important, side note, we do not access the answers to these questions by just going, oh, I wonder what it is. We do this. We ask the question, we close our eyes, hand on heart, hand on belly, and we breathe into our belly. And you exhale and soften. And you say, sweet self, what part of me does not want this goal? What part of me is not about this goal? Okay, and you sit and you tune within. Silence and stillness is going to serve you more than trying to analyze with your mind. You're not going to get the answers to these questions out of your thinking mind. It's going to come by sitting and listening. And it might come like that, but it might you might need to allow some spaciousness, okay? You can also use this for a problem. You can say, what part of me wants me to stay in this problem and why? Okay. Now we'll go through, I wrote down some other questions for you this afternoon that I thought might be helpful. This is a goodie, okay? If this problem is my friend, so this is problem focused, a problem you can't get rid of, whatever it is, health, money, relationships, career, whatever it is. If this problem is my friend and it's trying to help me, what's it trying to do and why is it trying to do that? If this problem is my friend and it's trying to distract me to protect me, why is it doing that? And what's it trying to protect me from? If this problem is my friend and it's trying to consume all my focus and consume all my attention so that I can avoid something else, what's it helping me to avoid? Because that leads to this question. If I didn't have this problem, then with all my free energy and focus and time, what would I then be left with? In that time and space, what would I have to face? What else in my life might I have to face if I wasn't consumed with this problem? Or if I didn't have this problem and I had so much space, what is it that I know I really want to go for in my goals and dreams and maybe I don't feel ready for? So is my system keeping me from facing? Like a lot of people will say that in coaching. They'll say, I really want that thing, but to be honest, I'm really afraid to go for it. And so by being distracted and running out of time, dealing with this other problem, like it's pretty convenient, it's unpleasant and I hate it and I don't deserve to be stuck in it, but it's keeping me away from facing things that I don't feel ready for and that feel really big for me to deal with. The next one is, who would I be without this problem? This is a big one. This is around your identity. Sometimes our system holds to problems because it's all we know and it's like defined us, or it's been a struggle we've struggled with for a long time. It's like, I don't know who I would be without this issue. If I've been alone and I want a relationship, if I've been dealing with, difficult like family relationship dynamics, if I've been dealing with health problems, if I've been dealing with money problems, whatever it is, who would I be without this problem? What would I do with myself and my time if I didn't have this problem? But you've got to be really honest with yourself, because people will be like, oh, it would just be marvelous. And I would just go for it. And I would go for it and I would do all the things I want to do. And that is true. But then you've got to go a step further. Okay, so now imagine you're doing that. Now what's coming up? Notice if it's like, oh gosh, like I don't quite feel ready for that. That would be kind of confronting. I would have to make some changes. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Right? Because nothing that's going on here we're talking about, the majority of this is not conscious. The majority of this is stuff that's going on beyond what you don't do these things to yourself, is what I'm trying to say. This is a goodie. What could I lose if I didn't have this problem? If this problem went away, what would go with it? Who would go with it if I got rid of this problem? Because obviously the problem going away would be amazing, but is there anything else secondarily beneficial, pay back other things around it that I might lose if I lost this problem? Connection, love, support, whatever it might be. Next one is, what do I get to keep or gain by having the problem? Okay, there's a problem. We'll do some goals ones in a minute. What do I get to keep or gain by having this problem? I don't really want the problem, but is there something slightly beneficial that I get? If I keep the problem, I get something else. Next one is goal-oriented. If I'm honest, if I have my goal and I went for it and I was about to get it, like I was about to get the thing I really want, or I got it, what would I have to face? What would I have to take care of? What would I be responsible for? And ... and am I ready for that? Does it feel too big for me? Would it be too much for me to handle? Does my nervous system feel uncomfortable? Do I get a little tense and anxious, little uncomfortable, like when you really think about being in that situation? Like if I went and put you in that situation right now, are you like, I don't know if I'm ready for that? You want to see that, because this stuff is what's going on below the surface, right? What or who might I lose if I go to the next level in my life? If you get your goals, dreams, and aspirations, because when you up level in life, It's the death of something for the rebirth or the birth of something else. So sometimes even to up-level your career, you've got to move on from where you are. To up-level your life situation, lifestyle, you might have to leave where you are. There's all sorts of things that have to happen, because it's not, you don't just keep adding to your life like a gluttonous amount of stuff. You just keep adding. Life is cyclical, like nature. We as creatures are cyclical. We are born, we live, we die. And inside our life journey, we are cycling in mini cycles of birth, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth. And it's going on and on and on. And so we have to acknowledge that when you want to go to the next level of something, you often have to give up something else. Not all the time in terms of significant big things, but we have to acknowledge what or who might I lose if I got what I wanted. And I'll tell you the number one thing that you will have to lose, and that's the old version of yourself. Maybe everyone in your life will come with you if you do a transformation in your business or your career or your money or your lifestyle or whatever it is that you want, or you do the creative project, you make your art, you write your book, you take up your dancing, whatever it is that you want to do, you travel the world, you invent the thing that you've been dreaming of inventing, whatever it is that's really meaningful to you. A lot of people might go with you, but some people might not. But the main person who's not going with you is the old you, because the old you got you here and they can't take you there. The old identity got you here, can't take you there. That's why when we do Activate Your Power, if you want to join me in the program, that's starting soon. So if you only just joined, it's at bernadettelogue.com/program. We're starting on the 2nd of September and we're closing enrollment on Wednesday this week, coming out Wednesday 27th. In that program, we do a whole week on identity shift, because the identity you're living in, the way you see yourself, your self-image, self-concepts, driving so much of your psychology and rippling into your emotional state and your behavior, which creates your life results. And one thing that I've learned the hard way on this huge journey is that you have to be willing to say goodbye to old versions of yourself so you can evolve. And as you evolve, your life evolves. And why is that? Because life is a mirror and it's going to reflect back to you who you're being. So if you want to have the life of the version B of you, you don't want to be version A, you want to be version B to get the life that matches version B. Well, you have to kiss goodbye to version A of yourself. And it can be minor, tiny little things like I have to kiss goodbye to the version of me that has victimhood. Because if I want to be successful in a loving relationship, more abundant, I certainly can't do that with victimhood. That's not aligned. It's not energetically a match. It's not going to go there. So I have to love and kiss goodbye that version of myself to evolve myself to a different version, right? Or if I have been wanting to do something where I want to put something into the world and I need to be confident, well, I have to say goodbye to the version of myself that feels unworthy and lacks self-esteem, because I can't take that version with me. And if I see myself as a person, an identity, as being a person who is of low confidence and low self-esteem, that version of me can't go forward to that. I have to be a different version of myself to have that different version of life reflect to me. Why? Because life doesn't withhold from us, it just mirrors us. And it's doing us a favor, because it's sitting there in the mirror and saying life will remain looking like this until you make a shift and you no longer carry this with you. Why? Because you're a soul on the planet and you didn't come here to carry it with you. You come here to get rid of that baggage and to evolve. Okay. So, hey Dixie Doodles, thank you. I love your sweet little handle there. That's awesome. It's so nice to have you here. And Ocon's here as well. I'm so glad you're here, lovely. It's so nice to see you virtually in this live stream. Right, so next question. Hang on a second. Does it feel too big for me to handle? We did that. What would I lose? Okay, what would I get? What would I get if I achieved my goals and dreams? And is there anything about that feels a bit stretchy? What would I get if I achieved my goals and dreams? And does it feel too much or stretchy? Does it feel too much to handle? Do I feel like I'm worthy of it? Do I feel like I'm deserving of it? Here's another one. I think I could get it, but I don't know if I could keep it. That seems like a lot of responsibility, or that might be hard work, or And the last little question that you can take away, and we do some stuff in the workshop, so there's some powerful journaling questions in the free workshop. Also, if you're tuning in halfway through this, you can go to bernadettelogue.com/workshop, free workshop on until Wednesday the 27th. In that, in video 2, there is a free downloadable guide, and it's called The Powerful Creator Self-Assessment, and it'll go through the layers inside of you with journaling prompts: psychological, emotional, energetic, behavioral, and multidimensional. Those are your 5 layers inside of you, and it will ask you prompt questions, and it will start to show you if you've got a misalignment, if there's something in your system that's a bit off and it's keeping things stuck in place and it's kind of holding you back from making the changes you want to make in your life. That is going to help you to see where you might have opportunity. We are not in judgment. Everybody's got layers and everybody has misalignments, and it's not a big deal and it's not a big problem. And you don't have to be like, oh my God, this is going to take me forever to fix. No. First of all, you don't need fixing. Second of all, when we see what's going on, it's actually not complicated to resolve it. And the resolution is just alignment. It's not fixing you because you're not broken. It's just creating ease and alignment. You cannot create ease and alignment if you don't know what's going on, because you don't know what's going on. So how are you meant to clean something up if you can't see it? So we have to have an ability to go below the hood to see what's going on in our inner system. We can use various techniques. We go deep in it in the Activate Your Power program, which is coming up soon. But in the workshop, I've given you a free guide where you can self-navigate with some prompts. And I'm giving you like all these prompts today in the workshop. You want to go through them in your own time. So the last question is this. Imagine the life that you want, and imagine your problems are deleted, dissolved, gone away, faded, evaporated, done. Okay, so it's like so far away you don't even remember what that was like. It's like it's somebody else's story. And you are in your peaceful bliss of whatever is important to you. So maybe you're like in some lovely place and you've got a peaceful home. Maybe you're doing your art. Maybe you're in a high-flying career. Maybe you've just got plentiful financial security and you're feeling peaceful. Maybe you've got new loving relationships. Tune into whatever that is, right? And just kind of get a sense of, because I know you know that because you daydream about it sometimes. And then I just want you to ask this question. That person that you see in your daydream who's enjoying that, and it's like, oh, that would be so good. I see myself doing that. Do you see yourself as that person now? And the kicker is this. If you don't see yourself as that person now, how are you going to create that? Because the person who's experiencing that created that from that energy. It's like when you've got a problem, you can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. Your consciousness and energy has to be above the problem in order to resolve it and pull you upwards. And so again, to identity, we want to be operating in our life from the position of, if you want, for example, a career or a job opportunity, you need to operate and behave like the person who has that in order for you to get those outcomes. And you don't get the outcomes and then start behaving like that person. You behave that way now. You act like that person now, because that is the kind of person that can generate those kind of results. And I don't mean by the things you do. I mean the way that you operate in the world, the way you walk in the world, your energy, the way you hold yourself, the way other people relate to you as a result, your emotional state, your nervous system. And it sounds like a lot, but it's not, because it all falls like dominoes. When you get the right things in place and you understand clearly, then we can just put your system into a state that aligns with that, and then you let your life unfold organically and naturally, right? So I've had to apply this from a health point of view. I've had to apply it from a business point of view. It's been a really, really big learning curve for me to have to do that over the years. It works. You cannot create a different life being the person that you've been who got you with the life that you have now. And that is not meaning consciously, because we're talking about all the hidden layers within us. If you could read the encyclopedia of inner stuff that I had that I did not know that was affecting my life and keeping me stuck, you'd just be like, oh, wow. We all have it, and you cannot outrun your system. You just can't. And the interesting thing is that this whole thing is so fun. It's so fascinating. Like if you're at a point where you're like, I am so sick and tired of myself and I'm so sick and tired of like personal growth stuff. It's like, yeah, because it gets like this hard work thing of you trying to figure everything out and you're trying to grind it forward and it sucks. And who wants to do that? I find it super fascinating and I'm interested in making it fun and empowering and colourful and lively and giving you ways that you can have quick wins in order to go, yeah, oh wow, I really understand myself. Oh wow, I'm actually really rapidly evolving and I'm starting to see it affect my life. And it can happen like that. It doesn't have to take a long time. So the one shift, remember, is noticing with gentle compassion inquiry inside of yourself, is there a part of me that is trying to hold me in this problem? Or is there a part of me inside that is trying to hold me away from what I want? And if so, what is that part? What have they got to say to me? Please tell me. And you ask with love and you listen and then you address it, because then we just rewire that part of you, because we get to, as the conscious leaders of ourselves, we get to rewire, repattern our subconscious identity and beliefs, our vision, our emotional state, our energetic system and nervous system, our behavior, the whole lot. And we can do it in really beautiful, fun, and logical ways, right? That are easy to follow along. So this is really like, this is gold, right? This is gold. And I say that because like even this year I was on a thing the other day with a dear friend, Dr. Mario. Him and I were chatting on YouTube actually. And I was saying to him, you know, like this made a big difference for me earlier this year. I've been on this journey a very long time, but there were parts of me that I had not inquired into and I had not seen. And when I started doing this, I just got so much clarity coming up from my subconscious, and it was like, oh, wow, it's no wonder this problem is still in place, or it's no wonder that I, despite all my efforts, have not achieved this particular goal. Because my system has just been like, not about it. And then your job is to lovingly lead yourself forward into a better alignment. And that's called evolution. And that's called awakening. And that's called living consciously. And anyone who's here on this live stream, I know you're about those things, because you wouldn't be in my community if you weren't. And even if those things don't interest you and you're only doing them because you want to get something, that's cool too, because who doesn't want the things they want? Right? So please, please, please stop firefighting the symptoms in your life. Please stop judging yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Like you could say, but you don't understand. I've been like doing this for so many years and I still can't get blah, 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 blah. And these are all things that happen to me. And I'm like, yeah, I coach so many people for so many years, and there's nothing that you can say where it's like you're excluded from humanity and the shifts that's available for you. There's nothing. It's just like you can't see what you can't see because you're too close to yourself. And I have done this work for a long time, and I couldn't even see some of the things that were going on for me until I started taking this approach and really rooted out some deep things that were still going on. I tell you what, the reason I called this program Activate Your Power, this new program, is because my power has just like ballooned this year because of these things that I've put into this workshop for you and in this program, right? So as we start to wind this up, my lovelies, for anyone who didn't catch the beginning, there is a free workshop. This live stream was part of it. It is on my website. It is completely free until it's finishing on Wednesday the 27th, coming up this week, at www.bernadettelogue.com/workshop. Be the powerful creator of your life. Very short videos, 3 20-minute videos, all have downloadable action guides. One's got a powerful activation meditation. Go, download, enjoy, utilize it all. If you want to do the 14-week program with me, I'm only running it once this year. Obviously, it's starting September 2nd. Okay, enrollment is open now. It's closing on Wednesday the 27th as well. Why? Because we have to start. And everyone's going to come in one group, and we're going to do this incredible journey for 14 weeks together. And we're going to go through and we're going to address all of this. You're going to identify all the things, and then we're going to align all the parts of yourself. We're going to root out the blind spots, subconscious conflict, self-protection, all the stuff. And it's going to address your psychological layer, emotional, energetic, behavioral, and multidimensional nature. And it's going to put you into your power, okay, for lasting inner change. And I'm going to be there with you the whole way. We're going to do it live. So team, it's been so good having you here. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Now, unless you've got questions, please feel free. If you do have questions, please don't hesitate to put them in now. Otherwise, we will wrap up this live stream. Otherwise, here's how you can reach me, okay? If you've got questions about the free workshop, just email me. If you've got questions about the Activate Your Power program with me, email me. If you're not sure about doing the program and you're interested in one-on-one coaching, there's potential. I've got some spaces open for that, depending on a couple of things coming up. You can email me about that as well. The email to reach me is support@BernadetteLogue.com. Okay, support@BernadetteLogue.com. LOGUE for anyone who doesn't know how to spell my surname. And I look forward to connecting with you. So if you're coming over to the free workshop, you can just go dive in right now. I'm so delighted to share it with you. If you're coming to the program, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited for a program in a long time. Can't wait. Would love to have you there. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your Saturday, wherever you are in the world, whatever's going on, whatever continent you're in and whatever time it is there. Thank you for tuning in, lovelies. And if you, after watching this, are like, oh, I did have a question I should have asked you, just email me, okay? And you can put whatever you want in the email. I will personally read it and I will personally reply. Yes, Dixie Doodles. I love that. Everything is linked in the description of the video. Yeah, so you're going to find the /workshop link for the free workshop, for the program /program. That's also in the description, okay? And I'll make sure that this replay stays up. For anyone who came late, watch it back and use the pause button to make a note of all of those journaling prompts I gave you. It's gold. Do not underestimate the power of asking really smart questions and doing it by going within. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to work it out with my mind. No, your mind would have answered it ages ago. Your mind at the conscious level doesn't have the answer. You've got to go deep within, pausing, breathing, and allowing space inside. Soften. Let the deeper parts of yourself answer. Okay? Love to you all. I'll see you all again soon, somewhere, somehow, no matter what we're doing here. I look forward to being in touch. And if you're on my email list, of course, I'll be emailing you over the coming days with everything that's happening with the workshop and the program. Thank you so much. I wish I could give you a hug, but I'll give you a wave for now. See you, lovelies. Bye.